That's great. Yeah, Jacob Kuntz, I'm the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity in Helena. Currently, 80% of the population in Helena qualifies for our programs. I don't know if you knew about that. We have 800 people on our waiting list for housing. We don't advertise, and we shut down our waiting list because of this, because we were being flooded with calls for decent, affordable housing. It's kind of a broken record these days. It's all we hear about is housing, housing, housing. The question is, what are we doing about it? So 7 years ago, when I came to Helena, the organization was building one house every other year. And we were going out and we were raising every single dollar, and then we'd find a homeowner, and then we would build the house, and we'd hold the mortgage in-house at 0 interest, and the homeowner would pay Habitat. We'd act as the bank, the builder, the folks who did all the work when it came to client relations and management. But with that type of work, we take that money and we hold it up for 30 years. So we've been changing the way that we work as an organization so we can build more homes, and that's challenged the status quo of how Habitat for Humanity works nationwide. 1,400 affiliates in all 50 states, 64 countries since 1976 have been built using the same model. Go raise money, build the house, hold the mortgage in-house, and the homeowner pays at 0 interest over 30 years. So over time, we started working to build financial readiness among our applicants to get them ready so that they could take on a mortgage, and then started working with rural development and with Montana Housing to find low cost or lower interest loans so that we had to fundraise less per house that we built. So we went from building one house every other year to this year. We currently have 12 homes under construction, another 4 breaking ground by the end of the month. We're building in Red Lodge as well as Helena because I couldn't find enough land in Helena. And within the next 2 years, we're working to go into the land development business, and we're looking at hundreds of homes to meet the needs for decent folks who are hardworking, who work in businesses in our town, who just can't afford to make it go. The American dream, as you've heard it, was a concept that was dreamed up by the banking industry to sell the 30-year mortgage. But it still holds true. It's an important idea, this idea of self-sustainment, that you could take something, that you could own something, that over time that you could build equity in something that you own, if you put your hands to work, if you worked hard and were committed to your community, that you could afford to live in that community. And that's not true anymore. You've heard the idea of the bootstrap. You could bootstrap your way into doing more, and that doesn't exist for everybody anymore. It's a bit of a mystery or illusion that you could do something like that. You could make enough money. There's folks out there who would be wonderful homeowners who can't just afford the average price of a home, which currently is over $450,000, right? More than that. So all Habitat does is bring that house in reach of people. We bring together groups of owner builders, we call them. They work on each other's homes, and through sweat equity, they build each other's homes with no one moving in until all the homes are complete. That way they build sweat equity into those homes, and we're able to keep the costs down because of the volunteer model, but also because of our nonprofit approach to building those homes. The problem with that model in the past is that when we built the home, the markets were appreciating to the point where we would lose those homes if they were ever resold. So now we're capping equity in those homes. Every home and every volunteer hour, every dollar that's spent in those homes are kept in those homes. Families are in 1.5% of the sales price of their home every year they live in the house. And that ensures that if the home ever sells in the future, those homes are permanently affordable to this community. So now we're investing in Helena with every house that we build, permanently affordable homes, a block of housing where families are earning equity. They're also paying less in their home mortgage. They're saving money over time, but if the home ever sells in the future, it's kept affordable for the next folks. So we're not losing houses to the market. And over time, you see homes built up over time so that we're able to serve more folks. We're not only building more homes, but now we're getting into the resale business. So as homes come up for sale, about 5% of our stock sometimes comes up for sale every year as people's lives change, they move out of town, they get jobs someplace else. And then we're working with families to resell those homes, and they're walking away with equity. It is capped equity, but they're walking away with equity to put as a down payment on the next home. But we keep that home in the stock of affordable housing. So hypothetically, and this is different from your for-profit model, right? Our dream is to go out of business. Hypothetically, if we were doing our job correctly, that we build enough houses that would be kept permanently affordable, and we'd have less clients over time because we'd have so many houses out there that our services would no longer be needed. That would be a sign of success to us. But until then, we are growing. Our organization has grown over the years. Our goal is to be building at least 30 homes a year by 2030. I think we're gonna beat that. We're gonna be repairing 50 to 75 more. So those are existing homeowners who are living in their homes that just need critical home repairs just to stay in dignity and safety in their homes. And our goal is, if we're building at that capacity, at that level, that we will be going out of business sometime in the future, perhaps not in my lifetime. Especially with what's happened in the last 2 years. But hypothetically, that's what we're shooting for. You know, as an organization has a vision of a world where everyone has a decent place to live. We believe that Helena, everyone should have a decent place to live, and that it shouldn't be just a luck of the draw, or because you happen to do something right, or you bought your house at the right time, and then 2 years later it was worth $100,000 more. That had nothing to do with your personal effort or striving, and having to do with the luck of the draw of the market. There's a lot of folks who are being left aside with that one. So that's what we're doing. There's a lot of things that are happening. It's exciting as we build traction. To put that into context, we are considered a very, very small organization among all the Habitat affiliates in the country, of which there are about 1,400, as I mentioned. We are now in the top 50 currently in what we produce of those 1,400. If we build 30 homes every year, we'll be in the top 10. We'll be competing against New York City, we'll be Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, in what we're building. So folks are starting to look from across the country and go, what's happening, what's going on? And we're happy to share. We're excited about what we're doing, and we've been sharing that work with a lot of other people, and they're starting to use some of those principles. We stole a lot of those ideas to begin with, and we made up some along the way, and that's been a lot of fun, and it's exciting to share those ideas and see people put that into practice. But yeah, there's going to be a lot more. We're going to have some more public announcements here, probably by June, as we announce some land acquisition and some next steps in building some neighborhoods in the Helena area. So happy to answer questions when we come to the end.
Yeah, so just if you haven't been